It's Monday night. Good evening and a very warm welcome back for more Monday Night Speedway. We do hope you're enjoying our viewings of past meetings. Last week's Premiership Riders' Championship, of course, down at Poole, won by Jason Doyle, who was the reigning world champion at the time. And tonight we're going to bring back memories for you because we are at Brandon Stadium, Coventry. Sadly inactive at the moment, of course, but there is still very much an active campaign to bring the sport back to Brandon Stadium, and we wish everybody the very best with that. A club with a great tradition, of course, and the stadium is still there. While it's still there, then there is still hope, of course. Let me just remind you, please like our Facebook page to be alerted to the live showings of this Monday night action, and also there's more content on Speedway Great Britain social media than ever before, particularly during this lockdown. We have the Friday night quiz for you. There's daily updates, daily posts, graphics, news and information, all on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And also, of course, the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that so you ensure you don't miss out on any showing like this. Congratulations again to all the clubs around the country that are trying desperately to keep interacting with supporters at this very difficult time. And of course, we do wish you all the very best during lockdown. Please stay safe and stay well. I can also tell you that next Monday lined up, we have fond memories for Kings Lynn fans because it's the Premiership Best Pairs Championship from Somerset, and that is 2017, and that's what's lined up for next Monday on our Monday night show. Don't forget the quiz this Friday night from 8:30 as well. Ryan Guest is your host for that. It's a terrific way to pass 45 minutes to an hour. What else have you got to do? I think it's brilliant. Great stuff. As we say, more content than ever before on the Speedway Great Britain social media platforms. Daily news updates as well on the website for official British Speedway. So once again, please stay safe and safe well. Thank you for watching, and let's enjoy now 15 races from the great old Brandon Stadium as the Coventry Bees take on the Belle Vue Aces.
So two sides who very much need a win here tonight, both the Bill-based Bees and the Belle Vue Run Truck Aces. Pointless from their opening two Elite League matches so far. It's a cold evening once again. The wind is blowing around Brandon, but thankfully dry as we move into line for the opening heat with Alice Trimmel riding in yellow off the inside. He is the rider replacement for the absent Craig Cook. Aaron Summers goes in blue off gate 2, Matty Zagar in white off gate 3, and Christoph Kasperzak in red off the outside. Good to see Matty Zagar back in UK action this year after a couple of years away. He's also a GP man this year, of course. Both he and Kasperzak have the European Grand Prix at Big Gosh coming up at the middle of April to contend with, but a busy programme of Elite League action before that. Nothing happening in Poland because of the snow, so this is at least getting the riders like Kasperzak fully sharp as we get ready for Heat 1. Tony Steer is the referee as Kasperzak is pulled up to tapes there in gate 4. Zagal then on gate 3, Summers gate 2, and Alice Trimmel off the inside. Green light comes on then, and away they go, and it's a good start by Summers, and Kasperzak gets around the outside. Summers looks for Kasperzak, who goes wide off turn 2, and it's Summers who gets the advantage. Zagar slots through into second place, Kasperzak in third, and Zagar will try and go wide now to try and get Summers, but Aaron Summers here with the advantage. Zagar on the outside, Kasperzak in big trouble off turn 4, and through goes Trimmel into third place. A big mistake there by Christoph Kasperzak. He was in third place when he lifted coming off the fourth bend, and through went Trimmel into third place. This would do Aaron Summers' confidence some good. He's not had the best of starts to the season either for the Bees or for Redcar last night. They got absolutely hammered at home last night by Newcastle, but and down goes Trimmel right in front of Christoph Kasperzak, but he gets up and he avoided too much damage, so Kasperzak retakes that third place, and still Summers race leads as Trimmel clears the track, and Zagar I don't think it's going to get to Summers from there, so this will be, as I say, a real confidence booster for Aaron Summers in Heat 1 to he can head home. Matty Zagar, Kasperzak in third place. The Bees then looked at to open up with a 4-2 in what's been a rather eventful opening race as Summers comes around to win it. Aaron Summers does get there for Coventry. Second place Matty Zagar, and third place Christoph Kasperzak. That's the first Heat 1 that Kasperzak hasn't won. It was an eventful ride for him too. He made a good start from the outside, and then he went wide off turn 2 first lap. He then went much too wide off turn 4. That allowed Trimmel to come through, but Trimmel then getting it wrong on turns 1 and 2 third time round, just missed by Kasperzak, and the Bees then do get a 4-2. Summers with the victory, second place Zagar, third Kasperzak, and it's Coventry 4, Belle Vue 2. Heat 2 then, 2 rides on the trot for Irish General. Let's see if he's recovered from that first one. Never ideal when he's off the back of a bad night on Tuesday at Wolves, and then to fall in his first ride when he was ahead of Christoph Kasperzak. So let's see if he's turned things around. His partner is the equally experienced Kauka Niemann. This must be the most experienced reserve combination in the Elite League. Drimmel and Niemann, they didn't fire at all at Wolves on Tuesday, and they'll need to respond here. Coventry bring in Ludwig Lindgren to guest. He rides in red. That's because of the recent signing Joe Screen is unavailable, but Lindgren's been piling up points in both Elite and Premier League so far this season, and Michael Szczepaniak is his partner in blue. So Lindgren goes in red off the inside, Drimmel in white off gate 2, Szczepaniak in blue off gate 3, and Kauka Niemann goes in yellow off the outside. Heat 2 on the way, 4-2 to Coventry in the opening race, long hold by the referee, and a good start there by Ludwig Lindgren, not back either by Szczepaniak. It's Coventry 1 and 2 out the gate, switching back on the inside of Drimmel. Niemann and gets squeezed down. It's Coventry 1 and 2, Szczepaniak has the advantage. Ludwig Lindgren in second place, Niemann in third with Drimmel at the back, and that was good starting from Szczepaniak and good starting too from Ludwig Lindgren, who, as I say, has been in fantastic form early in the season. Scored paid 17 last night at Redcar 4 at Newcastle, and that's consistent with its showing so far as Coventry race lead round bench 3 and 4 for the second time, and it looks like for the second time in the space of a week this very experienced Belle Vue reserve combination is going to get 5-1, and that's not at all what they expected when they put this team together. Michael Szczepaniak leads for Coventry. This is more the kind of form we saw from him towards the end of last season. Ludwig Lindgren doing a good solid job in second place, and Kauka Niemann, who's no great fan of Coventry, he's in third with Irish Drimmel at the back, and it's a worry for the Aces if Drimmel's not going to fire. They're using rider replacement tonight for Craig Cook, and that could be a big problem for the Aces as Coventry get a 5-1 in Heat 2. Michael Szczepaniak and Ludwig Lindgren maximum points over Kauka Niemann and Irish Drimmel. And as I say, this Belle Vue combination, they use up nearly 10 points in average terms between Niemann and Drimmel, and if they're going to keep getting 5-1, then it's not going to work for them. But that's a good 5-1 to Coventry. Michael Szczepaniak wins it. Second place Ludwig Lindgren, and in third place Kauka Niemann. Good start for the Bees. They lead Belle Vue by 9 points to 3. So Bees off to a good start tonight, 9 points to 3 in front. Heat 3, Gregor Zangotta, Mateusz Szczepaniak, Magnus Zetterstrom and Kevin Walbert. And Zetterstrom back in the British Speedway after being out since 2008. Of course, the last time he rode here was a very triumphant night for him indeed, because he won the Grand Prix Challenge here back in 2009. But it's a good 4 or 5 years since he last rode in the Elite League. He won the League Championship with Poole, which he's been more regularly associated with, but it's a move to Manchester for Zetterstrom at the age of 41, a bit like Peter Carlson, just keeps on going, and still a very competitive force indeed at this level of the sport. Mateusz Szczepaniak didn't have a good night at Birmingham on Wednesday. He could do with an improvement tonight. Greg Zangotta has shown a couple of encouraging signs so far, but a bit all or nothing so far. When he makes the gate, he's looked pretty decent so far. Case of stringing together 2, 3 or preferably 4 of them during a meeting, and but so far Zangotta has definitely scored his average, if not a bit more than that. So we'll see how he fares tonight. The conditions are a little bit more regular tonight. It's still going to be on the slick side, but it shouldn't freeze like it did last week, fingers crossed. The clocks have changed, of course. Zetterstrom rides in white here off the inside. Matt Szczepaniak in blue off gate 2. It's Kevin Walbert in yellow off gate 3. He went well here last year with Kings Lynn. And Greg Zangotta then in red off the outside. Much changed Aces side, and Walbert seemed an obvious signing for them because he's gone very well at Kirky Lane in his previous visits with other clubs. Green light comes on then, and away they go, and the red lights come straight on as the Belle Vue boys absolutely fly out of the start. But they fly out of the start rather too quickly as far as Tony Steele is concerned, who puts the 2-minute light straight back on and calls that back for an unsatisfactory start. So it is all full back for the rebound of Heat 3, although it looks like Zetterstrom is heading back towards the pitch, but it will be all full back, and they are on 2 minutes. So a few adjustments for Magnus Zetterstrom. He makes his way back round to the inside gate here for the restart of Heat 3, and Belle Vue, the last thing they were going to want here after the heavy defeat on Tuesday at Monmore is to get off to a really bad start here, but as things stand, they're the side that need to respond. 9-3 down after 2 races, and still some question marks obviously about the Coventry middle order, which have not exactly been answered as far as Wednesday night was concerned at Birmingham, and so they may well see this as an opportunity here It's two Coventry riders with very little experience of the Coventry track. In fact, the two Belle Vue riders will have substantially more experience of it, so they shouldn't be too nervous about this one. Zedestrom rides in white off the inside. It's Szczepaniak in blue off gate 2, Walbert yellow off gate 3, and Zengota in red off the outside. Green lights on this time, they're away. Good start by Zedestrom off the inside. Walbert made it as well. Zengota tries to go right for the balls around the outside. There's no real gap there. It's Belle Vue 1 and 2, although there's not too much speed about them. And it is Walbert who has the advantage with Zedestrom in second place, and Zengota going round the outside. It's a good ride by Zengota. He's got right round Zedestrom. That's a bit of a surprise. He's done so, and it's Kevin Walbert here has the advantage. Zengota in second place. Zedestrom trying to hit back in third, but Szczepaniak at the back. And it's a bit surprising there that Zengota was able to get round the outside of Zedestrom. I was a bit surprised that Zedestrom didn't close the gate there, but he didn't, and he's now trying to reel back in ground on Zengota with Walbert race leading. And Walbert rode very well here last year with Kings Lynn. He piled up big points at reserve, particularly in the second fixture of the season, so it's no real surprise to see him out in front. But Coventry splitting the Belle Vue duo with Zedestrom unable to get on terms with Zengota, in fact has pulled clear of the Belle Vue man. But Szczepaniak has not had a great start to his Coventry career, apart from one race win here last Friday, and he's at the back. So Belle Vue claw a couple of points back in heat 3 as Walbert wins it. Second place is Zengota. Zedestrom in third place with Szczepaniak out the back, and from the start it was Belle Vue 1 and 2 there. They didn't appear to have a great deal of speed at the back straight. Zedestrom may have found himself somewhat trapped around turn 3 and 4, and that gave Zengota a chance to have a handful round the outside and clear Zedestrom as they completed the opening lap, and that took him through into second place. So it's points back for Belle Vue 4-2 as Walbert wins heat 3. Second place Zengota, third Zedestrom, and it's Coventry 11, Belle Vue 7. So 4 points the gap as Scott Nicholls comes round turn 3 and 4 to make his appearance on the circuit for the first time tonight. His partner is the winner of heat 2, Michael Szczepaniak. It's Artem Roschke in white for the Aces and Kauka Nieminen in yellow. I think it's be almost kind to describe Artem Roschke as enigmatic. You don't really know what you're going to expect. He's as likely to score 4 or 5 last places here tonight. He might win a couple of races. Remember him coming here with Paul in 2010 and being superb here early in the season, and then vanishing without trace come the end of the campaign when they really wanted it in the playoff final. So and then he returned with Belle Vue last year midway through, had some really good nights at Kirkmansham Lane. Hasn't started this season in great form, but one of his successes was a heat 13 win against Wolverhampton at home. So he managed to beat Lindgren and Woofenden, and he hasn't beat too much else so far this season. But as we've seen with the polls before, if they do make the gate round Coventry, they do tend to hold good lines and win races. So let's see what he can do here. Nieminen goes in yellow off the inside. It's Michael Szczepaniak in blue off gate 2, Artem Roschke in white off gate 3, and Scott Nicholls in red off the outside. 11-7 in Coventry's favour. Heat number 4 on the way. Start marshal as the riders into line. Green light comes on then, and away they go, and it's a good start there by Szczepaniak. Makes a flyer from 2, and Nicholls will turn back now on Kauka Nieminen. He saw the move. Nieminen tries to go in between, but eased out by Scott Nicholls, and it's Coventry 1 and 2. Michael Szczepaniak with the advantage. Nicholls in second place. There goes Nieminen trying again round the outside in third. Nicholls tries to ride him out. Nieminen battling away, but Nicholls, I think he knows too much around Coventry for that. Very smart cut back by Scott Nicholls off turn 2 straight away. He saw that move immediately. He knew that Szczepaniak had made the start, and Scott Nicholls turned straight back on Kauka Nieminen and edged him out up the back straight. But the big worry for Belle Vue here is look how far behind Artem Roschke is, and that's really what he was doing at Wolverhampton on a Tuesday night. And if you're number 5, who is going to have to come out in big races riding with the reserve, and then in heat 13 is doing that, then you're not going to get very far. It's Michael Szczepaniak and Scott Nicholls for Coventry with the advantage. They hold it comfortably. Kauka Nieminen did battle hard for the first lap or so. He's in third, and Roschke is at the back. So round 3 and 4 they come, and it's 2 rides and 2 wins for Michael Szczepaniak, with Scott Nicholls second and Kauka Nieminen third, and Coventry get a 5-1 in heat 4. And as we see so often here on Brandon, a very clever ride indeed by Scott Nicholls. Didn't make the start. Szczepaniak did make it from 2, but as Nieminen moved slightly offline going into the turn, Nicholls was straight back to cut back inside him, and then eased out Nieminen up the back straight. Clever stuff from the Coventry captain. Up there with Michael Szczepaniak, and the Bees get a 5-1 after 4 heats. It's Coventry 16, Belle Vue 8. Belle Vue boss Jason Atwood bringing in Kevin Walbert as the rider replacement here in Heat 5. I think that has to be a smart move. I think, in a sense, they'd rather wish they were 10 points down rather than 8 here, because they must have seen this race as a possibility of getting something. They've got Zagar and Walbert, who's won his first race, up against Zengota and Matt Szczepaniak, and they might have fancied the opportunity of going for an 8-1 and getting the gap back down to 3 points. But as it is, if they get a 5-1 here, they'll get it back to 4 and get themselves back in play. But they will need more from their reserves and Moshka if they're going to challenge here. Walbert replacing Craig Cook, and it is one of the totally unsatisfactory elements of doubling up is the fact that Craig Cook is one of the rising stars. He's a big hope for Belle Vue and also for British Speedway, the 25-year-old. He's riding tonight for his Premier League club in a challenge match. That's all you can call the spring trophy between Edinburgh and Glasgow. They do race each other about 12 times a season anyway, and rather than racing in the elite league, our top league, Craig Cook is racing in a challenge match in the lower league, and that really, when you're trying to sell the top level product, that to me is not acceptable. We had the same with Jason Doyle last week, racing for a challenge match at Somerset when his elite league team were racing in the top flight, and I do think that there should be something done that really ensures the top riders, the riders that we should be seeing in this top league, should be there all the time. And that's the unfortunate aspect, I suppose, of the doubling up rule. But it's not doing what it was brought in to do 10 years ago, really. Now just a case of squads everywhere. Heat 5 on the way. Zengota is on the inside. Walbert is on gate 2. Matt Szczepaniak on gate 3. And Zagar goes off the outside. You sense Belle Vue needs to get points here to get back in the meeting. Away they go. Zengota lifts off the inside. Out-track Walbert. In fact, they both out-track Matty Zagar. Although the Bees take each other wide. And Zagar comes back on the inside. Zengota is squeezed out by Matty Zagar. That's a big escape there for Belle Vue. That could have been a Coventry 5-1 into turn 2. But I don't think Zengota realised that Szczepaniak was there. And that allowed Szczepaniak to go to the back, and that allowed Zagar to go to the front with Zengota in second place and Walbert in third. Walbert missed it completely off 2. Zagar did not make a great one off 4, and Belle Vue have actually done rather well to emerge here with a 4-2, because they could have been facing absolute disaster on that first lap. Coventry's gating tonight's been pretty good so far, but they didn't quite get the first turn right. Zengota took Szczepaniak wide, it put Szczepaniak completely out of play, and Zengota then was out of shape and was passed by Zagar on the back straight. Is now hanging on the second place against Kevin Walbert, but it's Zagar who does love Brandon when he's out clear in front. He's got so much speed. He race leads. It's Zengota in second place. It is Walbert in third. Belle Vue get a 4-2 in Heat 5. I'm sure they wanted a 5-1, but the way the race started, I think they could have easily found themselves facing a 5-1, so it didn't go too badly for them in the end. Matty Zagar wins Heat 5. Greg Zengota in second place. Kevin Walbert third. And Matt Szczepaniak, rather unfortunate there. He couldn't really have done much in that situation. He was left with nowhere to go, and it was his teammate Greg Zengota who wasn't quite aware of the race situation on the first turn. Belle Vue 4-2 in Heat 5, and it's Coventry 18, Belle Vue 12. Well, Heat 6 is one that I think Coventry will look at as an opportunity of points. They have Christoph Kasperdak and Aaron Summers up against Artem Roshka and Alice Drimmel. And Kasperdak lost his Heat 1 unbeaten tag in Heat 1 tonight, with Summers taking that and Kasperdak retrieving the third place after Drimmel had fallen. But it was good to see Aaron Summers winning that first race, because I say it hasn't been a great start to the campaign for him, either against Birmingham home and away or indeed for Redcar last night. But a lot of it is just a case of lack of meetings. That's been the problem with these Coventry riders, and it was extraordinary. Redcar didn't start until the first week in April. They passed up the opportunity you would have thought of a decent bank holiday crowd the previous week by starting in early April, and they found themselves caught cold by the fact that Newcastle had several meetings over Easter weekend, and consequently they ramped up a huge 50-55 plus score last night. So teams starting at different times, and you're clearly seeing that, I think, in the early weeks of the campaign in the results. Moshka on the inside, Kasperdak on gate 2, Alex Drimmel gate 3, and Aaron Summers off the outside. Heat 6 on the way, Coventry 6 in front, 18-12, and here we go with Heat 6, green lights on then, and away, and Roshka lifts badly, who still drives the bend in front. That was remarkable, and the Bees run second and third. Summers goes to the outside run on Roshka, and Drimmel trying to squeeze Kasperdak out, so it's Roshka with the lead. And that was incredible, because he made apparently such a bad start. He lifted badly off, now he's being challenged by Aaron Summers with Kasperdak in third place, but this is coming out of absolutely nowhere, and it looked like he made a poor start. He lifted, but he still got to the bend in front, and he looked set to win Heat 6. This is what I mentioned about Mroczka being all or nothing, and this is a case of all, because he was so tailed off in his first ride, and now he's pulling away from some of the Kasperak in his second ride. Alex Trimble set to run 3 successive last places, including the 4 in his first outing, but Mroczka, a totally different rider here in Heat 6, and after a brief challenge by Summers in the early stages, he is cleared off and gets away, and this will, in a way, it'll frustrate Belle Vue even more, because if they get this on a more regular basis, then their prospects look an awful lot brighter. Mroczka wins Heat 6 by a mile, second place Aaron Summers, third Christoph Kasperak, with Alex Trimble out the back, and where did that come from? Looked like he lifted badly off the inside, still got to the bend in front, fended off Summers around turn 3 and 4, and then cleared off and won. Mroczka wins it. Second place Aaron Summers, third place Christoph Kasperak. Shared heat, which Belle Vue will be happy enough with, and with 6 heats gone, it's Coventry 21, Belle Vue 15.
Very interesting outcome of Heat 6. Let's confirm then the result for that particular race. Race winner was Artur Mroczka in a time of 60.6.
Scott Nichols rides in red here in Heat 7. His partner is Ludwig Lindgren, pay winner first time out. Magnus Edderstrom in white, Kevin Walbert in yellow. 21-15 at the score, and Belle Vue hanging on across the last couple of races, picking up a 4-2 in Heat 5 and then a 3-3 in Heat 6, which did appear to favour Coventry on paper, but they'll be most encouraged by Mroczka there. And having watched the replay of the start, it's incredible, because he did lift a couple of times, but it's still got him out there in front. Whether they've done something to the bike setup that says we're going to put you out in front if we can and then see what you do, but his time was respectable, 60.6. Zagar is the quickest by a distance in his Heat 5 victory. That was just after the track grade, but it's still a much quicker time than what we've seen so far. So Aces having heat winners here, one for Zagar, one for Walbert, one for Mroczka. At the moment the lack of points at reserve is what's meaning they're behind. Coventry unbeaten in reserve so far, with 2 wins for Michael Szczepaniak and a paid win for Ludwig Lindgren. He's out here in blue in this heat number 7. In between the Coventry riders is the very experienced Magnus Edderstrom in white and Kevin Walbert going in yellow. Interesting lineup here for Heat 7. Can the Aces put some more pressure on Coventry as we approach the middle part of the meeting? Nichols rides in red then. Edderstrom in white off gate 2, gate 3 in blue Ludwig Lindgren, and gate 4 off the outside Kevin Walbert. Green light comes on then, and away they go, and it's a good start there by Edderstrom, and out there with him is Ludwig Lindgren. Nichols turns back on the inside, Walbert goes round everyone, and it's Lindgren who leads from Walbert, with Nichols third. Down the inside goes Walbert, Lindgren goes back round him into the fourth bend, and Ludwig Lindgren comes out in front with Walbert in second place, Nichols third, and Edderstrom on the back. So more surprises in this heat number 7 as Ludwig Lindgren gets out in front, and Scott Nichols chases Kevin Walbert, tries to send one down the inside into bend 3, gets his nose chopped off there by the German, but Walbert sails out wide on bends 3 and 4. Nichols pegs the inside, and does he get down the inside? Not quite. Walbert holds the second place for now, but Nichols getting closer and closer. Ludwig Lindgren out in front. Second place is Walbert, third is Nichols. Nichols again sweeping in wide, trying to turn back off bend 4. Edderstrom way adrift at the back, but Ludwig Lindgren a really smart first lap there. What a start to the season the young Swede is having. He race leads, Walbert still holds Nichols at bay for the second place with Edderstrom way at the back, but Ludwig Lindgren comes round superbly to win Heat 7. Walbert holds Nichols at bay, and Coventry get a 4-2 out of that Heat number 7. Good ride by Ludwig Lindgren, looks an astute choice of guests for the beat here tonight, I have to say. Lindgren wins it with Walbert in second place, Nichols third, and Edderstrom got rather beaten up there on the first lap, and he found himself way at the back. But as I say, with Royman out injured and Joe Screen unavailable, Ludwig Lindgren coming in and doing a superb job for the Bees, making that unbeaten from 2 rides. Lindgren the winner, second place Walbert, third Nichols, and it's Coventry 25, Belle Vue 17.
Second place Kevin Walbert, and third was Scotty Nichols.
So moving into line 4, Heat 8, with Artur Mroczka taking the rider replacement ride. He'll go off the outside this time. He'll have 2 rides on the trot here. He's out in Heat 9 as well. His partner is Kalker Nieminen, and for the Bill-based Bees, Aaron Summers and the unbeaten Michael Szczepaniak. That's the Coventry combination. The conditions have actually improved a bit since the meeting started. The strong wind that was going around Brandon at around 8 o'clock is now receded into a kind of a light breeze. So although it's still on the chilly side, it's actually a better watch at the moment than it was at the start of the meeting. Szczepaniak on the inside then, Niemann and gate 2, Summers gate 3, and Mroczka goes off the outside. Heat 8 out of tapes then, green lights on, and away they go, and it's a good start by Summers and a good start too by Szczepaniak, and Mrożka didn't make it off the inside. Summers almost overslid there off turn 2 and he controlled it, and it's Coventry 1 and 2. It's Summers and Szczepaniak with Niemann in third, and here goes Mrożka trying to make his move around the outside, but Coventry with the advantage, and Kauka Niemann goes diving inside there into turn 2, but gets out of shape coming out of the bend, and he goes to the back with Mrożka in third place. And Coventry, I think they may have felt with Mrożka on the outside there was a chance here in Heat 8, and this will put their lead over 10 points, but crucially put it to 12, which is better obviously when a tactical ride will come in, and Mrożka challenging Michael Szczepaniak. If a tactical ride does come in Heat 9, which would be Artem Mrożka, then there's a bit more to play with as far as the 12-point lead is concerned. Summers race leader, and we're now seeing tonight much more the Aaron Summers that we want to see around Coventry on a regular basis. Michael Szczepaniak in trouble here, and Mrożka gets up the inside, and Michael Szczepaniak goes back running because Mrożka is going in too tight into bend 3. Nervous moment there, but Michael Szczepaniak back around the outside. Summers wins it. Michael Szczepaniak in second place. Artem Mrożka shakes his head in third, and Coventry do get a 5-1 in heat number 8, and Mrożka is absolutely fed up and frustrated. It may well have been that he was fed up with Kauka Niemann moved down the inside on lap 2 that rather checked their momentum, but it looked like he had a chance there on Michael Szczepaniak on the last lap, but he just went in too tight into bend 3, and Szczepaniak got back around the outside. A 5-1 to Coventry in Heat 8, and they go into a 12-point lead. Summers back on the gas tonight, he wins it. Second place Szczepaniak, third Mrożka, and it's Coventry 30, Belle Vue 18. Safe to say Belle Vue's use of rider replacement tonight for Craig Cook hasn't worked out, because it's only scored 2 points from 3 rides so far. 1 ride to come in Heat 11, but that's got to be taken by one of the reserves, so I don't think they'll have tremendously high hopes for that. But Heat 9 on the way. They have resisted the temptation to use a tactical ride here, which would have been Mrożka had they chosen. Jason Atwood took a lot of unfounded stick for his tactical ride choices at Wolverhampton on Tuesday. He couldn't really do a lot else with the resources he had at the times he had, but one would imagine he's looking at more in Heat 10 than he would be against Kasperdak and Summers. So Heat 9 on the way, with Mateusz Szczepaniak yet to score so far in blue off the inside. It's Mrożka back out in white off gate 2, Zengota in red off gate 3, and Alice Drimmel yet to score so far in yellow off the outside. So one of these two has got to break their ducks, unless neither finish, of course, in blue and yellow. Mrożka in white and Zengota in red. Heat 9 on the way. Coventry 12 points in front as the start marshal brings Mrożka into line there on gate number 2. Here we go then with Heat 9. Green lights on and away they go. Mrożka lifts off 2, but it does go into the bend, and Alex Drimmel down there with him. Szczepaniak tries to push Mrożka aside, then got around the outside, and Belle Vue are out here 1 and 2, and may wish they'd done a tactical ride, because Drimmel has the advantage. Mrożka in second place, then Zengota chasing in third, switching back off bend 4 to try and come down the inside, and Mrożka rides mid-track and doesn't quite know where Zengota is. Zengota tries to turn back, but he loses ground there, and Belle Vue may get their first big advantage here of the evening in Heat 9. Alex Drimmel drops off gate 4 and race leads, and Mrożka tucked in there in second place. Zengota rather out of shape in third as he chases, and Belle Vue are going to get back to within 8 points here, it would appear, but it will remove the tactical ride option for the next race or so, as Drimmel continues to race lead from Mrożka, with Zengota third. A surprise here, definitely, because Drimmel has shown nothing so far, particularly after he's found his first ride, but he's clearly got things sorted out here in this heat number 9, and they pulled away from the Coventry duo, and Belle Vue get themselves back into the meeting with a 5-1 in Heat 9. It's Alice Drimmel and Artem Mrożka over Greg Zengota, with Matt Szczepaniak at the back. He hasn't scored, and you have to suspect that Michael Szczepaniak will take Mateusz Szczepaniak's ride in Heat 14 as well, particularly if the points are still up for grabs later in the meeting. But a bit of hope there for Belle Vue in Heat 9. They get maximum points. It comes from Alice Drimmel and Artem Mrożka, and I would think on that basis Drimmel may well take the final rider replacement ride in Heat number 11. So 5-1 to Belle Vue, and with 9 heats gone, it's Coventry 31, Belle Vue 23.
Result as follows: the race win went to Alice Drimmel in a time of 61.2.
Up to 10 then, and it's Christoph Kasperdak and Aaron Summers for the Bs, Magnus Edderstrom and Kevin Walbert for the Aces. Belle Vue have got Mrożka sorted out after a poor start to the meeting. They've got Alice Drimmel sorted out. Now they need to get Magnus Edderstrom sorted out, because 1 point from 2 rides is completely inconsistent with what he's been doing so far for them in their 3 meetings so far. He's been their leading light in their opening fixtures, and they need him to be making starts and winning races as he did in that Grand Prix Challenge. It was, what an eventful night that was. He had all sorts of crashes and incidents and still came through to win in the end against Chris Holder, who they both made the Grand Prix on a hugely eventful night. And Zetterstrom had that year in the Grand Prix, which he thoroughly enjoyed. Was never likely to get a top 8, and was therefore never likely to get a return invite back, but he was competitive. And I think many felt he may have been out of British racing for good, but Belle Vue bringing him back. It was a lengthy negotiation process to get himself fixed up to commit to the flights and what have you, particularly regarding riding in Manchester on a Monday night, but that's all been sorted out. And so Zetterstrom and Zagar, it's quite an ambitious top end for Belle Vue, bearing in mind the trouble they've had in the last few years, and they're still battling to get the new stadium sorted out, trying to, in the meantime, give their fans something to cheer about actually on track during the campaign as well. Heat 10 on the way. Aaron Summers gone well so far tonight, riding in blue off the inside. Kevin Walbert in yellow off gate 2. Christoph Kasperdak red off gate 3. And Magnus Zetterstrom goes in white off the outside. Green lights on then for 10, and away they go. Walbert lifts off gate 2, but Walbert gets to the bend in front of Christoph Kasperdak, who goes right for the outside line. Kasperdak gets plenty of power, gets right round the outside, and Kasperdak leads Walbert into turn 3, and Zetterstrom clamps off Summers into turn 3, and Summers will try and come up his inside and regain that place, but Kasperdak's got the advantage here over Walbert. Battle on for third, but Zetterstrom currently holds it over Aaron Summers. Kasperdak goes a bit wide off turn 2, he's under pressure here by Walbert, who dives up the inside. Walbert and Kasperdak neck and neck into bend 3. Walbert has passed Kasperdak. Kasperdak will try and come back on the inside into the third lap, but Kevin Walbert's got the advantage. Count's got a mistake by Christoph Kasperdak, and Walbert race leads from Kasperdak. It's Zetterstrom in third place with Summers at the back, and Belle Vue set to get even more back in the meeting here in this seat number 10. What a good ride by Walbert. Kasperdak moved off the line, and that was absolutely crucial. He went too wide on bend 2, and Walbert is now pulling clear of Christoph Kasperdak. It's Zetterstrom in third place, Summers at the back, and Belle Vue were 12 points down after heat number 8, and they're going to halve that to 6 with a 4-2 in heat 10. What a great ride by Kevin Walbert to beat Christoph Kasperdak. Third place is Magnus Zetterstrom, and that's a 4-2 to Belle Vue in heat 10. And Coventry, if they thought this meeting was won after heat 8, they'll have to think again here, because Belle Vue have pegged themselves back, and Walbert, who, as I say, has gone well at Coventry in the past, has made that his second race win of the meeting, and Coventry are going to have to think about how they deploy reserves in the final few races too, to make sure they get a couple of extra rides, and certainly at least one out of Michael Szczepaniak as well. Heat 10 then is won by Walbert, second place Kasperdak, third Zetterstrom, and it's Coventry 33, Belle Vue 27. So the gap down to 6 points as heat number 11 comes to the start line, with Scott Nicholls and Ludwig Lindgren for the Belle Vue Aces, Matti Zagar and Alice Drimmel for the Aces. Drimmel takes the final rider replacement ride of Craig Cook. They'll have Craig Cook back in their side when the two sides meet at Coventry Lane on Monday. Coventry need their big hitters to start hitting big, with Christoph Kasperdak having scored 4 paid 5 from 3 rides, Scott Nicholls 3 paid 4 from 2. And the fast Matti Zagar, who is the fastest man around Coventry, not only tonight but also so far this season. A long time since he's ridden, of course. That was heat 5. But Zagar here going off the inside, and Drimmel, who made a good start off the outside in his previous ride, to back up that 5-1 with Artem Roshka. And when the final analysis is written of tonight's meeting, Belle Vue may well find themselves wishing they had played a tactical ride in heat 9 when they were 12 points down, had the option but didn't want to go with the inconsistency of Roshka. They would never have given it to Drimmel, and they were probably waiting and more expecting to be using it in this race to try and salvage a point. But as things stand, they're still in with a chance of meeting victory itself, only 6 points down with 5 heats to go. So very interesting few races to come, and Coventry, you suspect, are going to have to use Michael Szczepaniak in heat 14. You don't see any way that won't be the case. But heat 12 could be interesting, with Zetterstrom and Drimmel in that one for Belle Vue. So still some interesting races to come here. 5 to go, 6 points in it, and Belle Vue will certainly feel they have a chance here of getting something from this meeting, if not the win itself. Zagar in white off the inside. Nicholls goes in red off gate 2. It is Drimmel in yellow off gate 3, and Ludwig Lindgren goes in blue off the outside. Heat number 11 on the way then. 33-27, green light comes on, and away they go. and it's a good start by Dribble, and Zagar gives Nichols a huge shove there on the first bend, and he emerges from turn 2 in second place, and it's Dribble and Zagar, with Nichols determined to go back around the outside of Matty Zagar and move through into second place, and Zagar trying to come back at him off the fourth bend. It's Dribble who leads, and Zagar and Nichols are trading paint blow for blow. Nichols switching for the inside now, trying to get back at Matty Zagar, tries to move him aside. Zagar back into second place. Zagar gave Nichols a massive shove. Dribble out there in front, and if Belle Vue 5-1-11, then they are right back in the meeting, big time. Dribble leads then from Zagar. Nichols in third place with Ludwig Lindgren at the back, and this is turning into a nightmare for Coventry mid-meeting, just as it did at Perry Bar on Wednesday night. The writing's on the wall here. Belle Vue making faster starts and getting right back in the meeting. Alice Dribble from Matty Zagar, fired up Scott Nichols trying to pass Zagar, but Zagar blocking all the right lines, and Belle Vue will get back to within 2 points in heat number 11, and their dramatic comeback continues. Dribble has the victory. Second place, Matty Zagar. Nichols in third. Ludwig Lindgren at the back, and Nichols given some forceful treatment by Matty Zagar on the first turn, and Zagar holds on for second place and gets the 5-1 with Dribble. They are right back in it. It was 30-18. It's now 34-32, and there is a big meeting to win now over the last 4 races. No question about that, as Dribble wins heat number 11. Where has he found this form from? Zagar in second place, Scott Nichols third, and it's Coventry 34, Belle Vue 32. Well, with the gap at just 2 points, had Belle Vue used that tactical ride in heat 9, they would be in front by now, such is the extent of their comeback. Whether they will rue that, we'll wait and see, but they must have a degree of confidence here going into heat 12, with Alice Dribble suddenly finding out the route to make starts here, and that's got him a couple of race wins. Zengotta rather up and down, he's on gate 2. Zetterstrom, you just suggest that there ought to be a big ride in him somewhere, he's off gate 3. And Coventry are looking to Michael Szczepaniak here off the outside, unbeaten so far, but off the outside, not going to be easy, and their gating has deserted them really in the last 3 or 4 heats, in the last 3 in particular, which is where Belle Vue have been getting right back in the meeting. Heat number 12 on the way, green light comes on then, and away they go, and that is a good one by Zetterstrom, and it's a good one too, and down goes Szczepaniak, and that might just save Coventry, because the move out actually clipped the move out from the man on the inside. Alice Dribble clipped Greg Zengotta, and that took him into Michael Szczepaniak, and that took him down. So first of all, let's hope he's okay, but it will be all fall back for the rerun, and that's an escape for Coventry again in heat 12. If as long as Szczepaniak's okay, he's being looked at down on the first bend, and it was the fact that the rider in yellow, Alice Dribble, moved into Greg Zengotta, who then moved into Michael Szczepaniak, who's up and okay, because Zetterstrom made the start that time for the first time tonight, and that actually incident rather saves Coventry the possibility of going behind in heat 12. They get another go at the restart of that one, as it will be all fall back for the rerun. So we go again with heat 12, Greg Zengotta, Michael Szczepaniak, Magnus Zetterstrom and Alice Dribble. And Dribble, his turnaround is extraordinary. He looked completely off it in his second and third rides after he'd fallen in his first one. Something has changed, something has clicked. He's made 3 great starts, if you include that one. That was called back for he made it, had a slight touch, I think, with Zengotta that took Zengotta into Szczepaniak. But the big thing for Belle Vue is that Zetterstrom was out there as well that time, and he has not made a start all night, and they are 2 points behind, but all the momentum in this meeting is with Belle Vue. Heat 12, Dribble on the inside, Zengotta at gate 2, Zetterstrom gate 3, Michael Szczepaniak off the outside, away they go for the restart, and the red lights come straight on. The red lights come straight on as the battles continue around the first bend. That time it was Dribble out there with Zengotta. Zetterstrom had not made quite such a good one that time. And, well, you get the feeling this is a very tense race indeed. It's crucial to the meeting. The 2-minute warning is back on for the restart. It's going to be all 4 back. That time the 2 on the inside made pretty good starts. They were out together. And Zetterstrom turning round, Zengotta turning round, and it will be all 4 back. And actually, it was the jump from the rider in white, Magnus Zetterstrom, that's forced the restart there. He was, in the end, 3rd away, but that's what's caused the rerun here, the second rerun of heat 12. And Just think if Coventry contrive to lose this one and from 12 points in front against the Belle Vue side who have been battered at Wolverhampton on Tuesday, it's not going to do a great deal for the confidence of Coventry, bearing in mind they've got the away match at Belle Vue to come on Monday, but then the small matter of Kings Lynn home and away next week, Wednesday and Friday. So if they don't win this one, then you do struggle to see where a win would come from in the opening weeks of the campaign. And the way the Elite League fixture list is, they ride a quarter of the season, Coventry, before the middle of April. The match at Wolverhampton on April 15th is the 7th match out of 28. So the margin for error really does vanish if you get such a bad start to the campaign. Heat 12 then, rerun on the way. Can we get them away this time? Green lights on, and away they go. And this time it's Zengota ahead of Aris Drumel into the bend, with Zinnerstrom going for the move around the outside, but Michael Trepaniak missing out. So Zengota has the advantage. Drumel and Zinnerstrom run second and third. Michael Trepaniak at the back, but now can Zinnerstrom get round Zengota? He's trying to off the fourth bend. Zinnerstrom here with more pace than he's had really throughout the meeting, but Zengota with the advantage and now pulling away. It's Zinnerstrom in second place, Drumel in third, and Michael Trepaniak at the back, and this might not be too bad an outcome here for Coventry in Heat 12, certainly based on the first start of that race, which looked an absolute disaster for them before the accident on turn one. As Zengota pulls through, there's definitely something in Greg Zengota. He throws in a couple of really good rides, and see, when he gets out in front he looks pretty quick. Zengota race leads, Aces pack second and third. Michael Trepaniak can find no way through, but he will have to go again, I'm sure, in Heat 14 as Zengota race leads from Zinnerstrom. Drumel in third, just playing the anchor role there, holding up Michael Trepaniak, and Coventry will maintain a 2-point lead into the last race, and Zengota may well have run himself into Heat 15 with that one. Zengota wins it. Second place is Zinnerstrom. Third is Drumel. I think the Aces may have hoped for more from that race, but let's face it, they've made quite a comeback to get to where they've got to, and they've still got a meeting to win here. Zengota has won for Coventry and has broken that run of Belle Vue race wins, but the gap remains just 2 points with 3 heats to go. It's Zengota, Zinnerstrom, Drumel, and it's Coventry 37, Belle Vue 35. Well, now Coventry need their big two to fire in Heat 13. Christoph Kasperdak 4 paid 5 from 3 rides. Scott Nichols 4 paid 5 from 3 rides, and they need to take on Matti Zagar, unbeaten since Heat 1, and Artem Roshka, who has had 2 great rides and 2 poor rides. Roshka is off the outside here, and Coventry will hope that a similar outcome is to when the last time Roshka went off the outside, which was Heat 8. But Zagar off gate 2 has got that swagger about him, and Zagar again starting on the inside of Scott Nichols, which of course we saw in Heat 11, and I'm sure Nichols will be determined to beat Zagar this time. And Kasperdak yet to win a race. He looked like he got a race winning in the bag in Heat 10 and can try to get overtaken by Kevin Walbert. So at 37-35, really anything can happen here over the next 3 races. I'm sure that we're going to see both team managers making changes for Heat 14. I think we'll see Drumel back out for the Aces to replace Niemanen, and I think we'll see Michael Trepaniak replace his brother. They'll go alongside Ludwig Lindgren and Kevin Walbert. Walbert will be sat on the inside for that race, which might be a good place to be for him. And Coventry are going to have a bit of a nightmare choice for Heat 15, when you bear in mind that Aaron Summers has scored 8 from 4, but he's had an engine problem tonight. That was why his second machine in Heat 10 wasn't as good. Zengota has looked good there in Heat 12. Very close here on gates 3 and 4 between Nichols and Roshka, which the start marshal I don't think is going to be too happy with. Oh, he is. They're going to let them get away with it, I think. Oh, Roshka moves across slightly, and a big Heat 13 on the way with Kasperdak on the inside, Zagar on gate 2, Nichols on gate 3, Roshka on the outside. Green light comes on then, and away, and it's a good start by Kasperdak and a good start by Nichols, and Nichols is really strong there against Matti Zagar. Kasperdak leads, Zagar tries to squeeze around the outside. Again, Zagar gave the shove to Nichols, and again Zagar hits the front. He's an absolute expert round Brandon, is Matti Zagar, and for the second time tonight Matti Zagar has moved aside Scott Nichols into the first bend, and Nichols was determined to get around him and he couldn't do so. Roshka at the back, so the 3-3 will maintain the situation, and Belle Vue in great shape here to get something from the meeting, but it may yet be 3 points rather than 1 as Zagar race leads from Nichols. Kasperdak in third place, Roshka at the back. You've got to be saying Kasperdak is going backwards here at a frantic rate, and Roshka's gaining ground on him into the third bend for the third time. Zagar race leads from Nichols. It's Kasperdak third. Roshka trying to turn back on Kasperdak as they start the last lap, and Kasperdak, you would think he should hang on for third place, but he's got no speed at all, Christoph Kasperdak. It's Zagar coming round to win it, Nichols in second place, and Kasperdak I think will hang on for third here over Artem Roshka, but it's not going to be close to the finishing line, as well, it is close to the finishing line. I tell you what, That is close to the finishing line. Has Mroshka stolen third place off Kasperzak? That's absolutely incredible, and that just should not have happened. It's a victory for Matti Zagar. It's second place for Scott Nicholls, but I tell you what, that run to the finishing line there with Kasperzak having no pace whatsoever, and Kasperzak has been done on the line by Artem Mroshka. It's absolutely incredible. Mroshka has got the third place, and we are all square with 2 heats to go. And how has that happened from a situation of 12 points in Coventry's favour with 2 heats to go? It's now 39 points apiece. Well, as if it couldn't get worse for Coventry in the second half of the meeting, they've now got a problem with Ludwig Lindgren on the start line with the bike not firing. He's receiving help. Now, I don't think they've been on 2 minutes yet, so if there is a major concern, he can go back to the pits, but it looks like he's got it started again. But that end of Heat 13 was absolutely ridiculous from a Coventry point of view. As I mentioned during the race, Christoph Kasperzak was going backwards there, but you still couldn't see him being overtaken. And he just seemed to leave a huge gap there on the inside to enable Mroshka to come through. Mroshka was not going to go around him, so I don't quite know why Kasperzak was on the line he was. And it leaves it at 39 points apiece, and it leaves Coventry in big trouble. Walbert on the inside here is surely favourite for the race. It's Ludwig Lindgren gate 2, it's Alex Drummel gate 3, and it's Michael Szczepaniak off the outside. It's rare to see a meeting turn round, true meeting of two halves here. How this meeting has turned round. The green light comes on, and away they go, and it's a good start by Ludwig Lindgren. Ludwig Lindgren flies out the start, and he takes his man wide, and up the inside goes Michael Szczepaniak. What a great ride by Ludwig Lindgren. Superb ride by Ludwig Lindgren to take Alex Drummel wide, and through went Michael Szczepaniak, and Kevin Walbert now is trying to hit back in third place. What a great ride by Ludwig Lindgren, absolute key man here for Coventry, as Walbert has got speed where nobody else has. He's trying to go around the outside, but it's Michael Szczepaniak here with the advantage. Ludwig Lindgren in second place, he's playing an absolute key role here. Walbert in third, trying to turn back with at the back Alex Drummel, and Alex Drummel was almost round there on the first turn, but he got a real nudge there from Lindgren. Lindgren is having to work overtime though to hold back Kevin Walbert, has got plenty of speed here, and if Belle Vue can even save a 4-2, that will help them. Walbert right round the outside here, again blocked by Ludwig Lindgren. Walbert turns back, he's got speed on the inside. It's still Michael Szczepaniak from Ludwig Lindgren. Walbert in third place. Walbert will now try and go hard on the inside. Ludwig Lindgren holds it tight, that's where Kasperzak should have been. Off the final bend, Michael Szczepaniak wins it. Second place Ludwig Lindgren, third place Kevin Walbert. Huge 5-1 to Coventry. You could never see that one coming, but it has. Coventry get a 5-1, and Ludwig Lindgren has played an absolutely crucial role in tonight's meeting for Coventry. Whatever they get from it, whether it's a win or a draw, 3 points, 2 points or 1 point, Lindgren with 3 unbeaten rides out of 4, and it was a vital ride there to move out Alex Drummel into turns 1 and 2. Michael Szczepaniak turned back from gate 4, he's been superb tonight as well. And that is a massive escape for Coventry, and they can say a big thank you to Ludwig Lindgren for his display tonight. And who now do they put in Heat 15? I think they have to go Nicholls. Who do they go with him? Heaven only knows. But they are 4 points in front going into the last race. The Aces have done such hard work to get themselves level, and they will not believe that they've now conceded a 5-1 in Heat 14. It's Coventry 44, Belle Vue 40. So it's a rather unusual route to get to the stage we have here at 44-40 in Coventry's favour. You couldn't have seen that when it was 30-18, but really you couldn't have seen that when it was 39-all either. It's a very unusual meeting here tonight, and there's still one more moment of drama to come. The Bees have gone with Scott Nicholls and Greg Zengotta, which I think is probably just about what was expected. The Aces have gone for Matti Zagar, obviously, and Kevin Walbert. It was either going to be Walbert or Mroshka, and Walbert will take the ride off the outside here. Now the difference here compared to Heats 11 and 13 is that Nicholls is sat on the inside of Matti Zagar, and I would have thought, having had some pretty tough treatment from Zagar, nothing unfair about what Zagar has done, it's what we like to see in the Elite League, but I would think having had some pretty hard treatment from Matti Zagar in the last couple of races, I would think that Scott Nicholls might be quite keen to give some back here in Heat 15. 44-40, so the Bees need to avoid conceding a 5-1, to win the meeting, and they also need a 5-1 of their own if they are to take maximum points from it. So Belle Vue are in good shape here to get something from this meeting, and they know if they can get a 5-1 they'll snatch a draw. I'm not quite sure how Coventry would respond to getting 2 points after the way they collapsed in the second half of the meeting. It might not be seen as a bad result, even though it is another point dropped at home, but they won't want to concede a 5-1 and find themselves on the receiving end of a draw here tonight. It's going to depend here on what Walbert can do around the outside here, and how much goes on the inside between Nichols and Zagar, who is very close to Zengotta there on gate 3. And I think too close as far as the starting marshal is concerned. They're being split apart. I think they're both being told to move here. It's a tense heat 15. Belle Vue having their best performance of the week and taking Coventry to a last heat decider. They'll probably feel they should be going into it in a better situation than 4 points down. But it looks like they're finally into line for heat 15. Nichols on the inside, Zagar on gate 2, Zengotta on gate 3. The start marshal, who's only in his second meeting here at Coventry on a regular basis, is not at all happy with Zagar and Zengotta. There's a bit of a standoff developing here. I think they both are claiming that they are okay, and the start marshal is going to from the signals he's been giving, he's been trying to force them both to move. Zengotta is saying he's in his box. Zagar is not happy at all. He's pulling back, and the referee is Tony Steele, and eventually he might have to adjudicate, because Matty Zagar is making a few signs there from gate 2 suggesting that he's not at all happy, and Zagar is possibly now running the risk of delaying the start, because Zengotta is seemingly happy enough there on gate 3. Zagar moves in alongside him, and this is incredible drama here at the start of heat 15. Elbow to elbow, Zagar and Zengotta. Nichols on the inside, Walbert on the outside. Belle Vue need a 5-1 to draw the meeting. Coventry need a 5-1 to take all 3 points. Here we go, heat 15, they're finally ready. Green lights on and away they go. And Zagar comes to a good moment. Nichols gets a better one. Nichols gets the best start. Zagar goes around the outside. Nichols dispatches Zagar, but there goes Zagar around the outside, and there goes Walbert on the inside. And it's Belle Vue 1 and 2 in heat 15. Nichols tries to turn back now on Kevin Walbert. Nichols will send one down the inside and tries to get inside Walbert. Walbert back round the outside once again. Nichols is on the inside, but Walbert's got the speed round the outside. Nichols was trying to send Zagar wide. Zagar made it right round the outside, and Walbert came in there. Now can Scott Nichols save victory on the night for the Bees? Walbert clamping down Scott Nichols for all his worth. Nichols picking the inside line, trying to come back on Kevin Walbert, but Walbert pulling away. Belle Vue here are going to snatch a draw at Brandon as Zagar race leads round turns 3 and 4 for the third time. It's Walbert in second place, Nichols in third, chasing hard for all his worth. Scott Nichols trying to get that point that would take it to a victory for the Bees on the inside. Now Walbert back round the outside, and Walbert knew what was going on there, and Walbert was superb on the first lap, and Walbert will head home. Scott Nichols and Belle Vue will snatch a point from Brandon. Matty Zagar and Kevin Walbert, Scott Nichols and Gregor Zengotta, and the meeting at Brandon is drawn. Incredible drama, and Scott Nichols tried to take Matty Zagar wide on turn 2. Zagar made it right round the outside. We've seen him expert so often at Coventry. He did it again there, and Kevin Walbert round the outside and cut back, and he got the better of Nichols and Zengotta, and Belle Vue snatch a point that will feel like a victory, and Coventry, so they snatch 2 points in fact from it, and Coventry, it has to feel like a defeat, no question about that. Belle Vue, after a miserable week, have taken a draw at Coventry, and you know, it could have been more the way it was going. That heat 14 saved a league point for Coventry, but Belle Vue take 2, and there'll be a lot of question marks about how Coventry have thrown away a 12-point lead and only drawn the meeting tonight. A win for Zagar, second place Walbert, third Nichols, and it's Coventry 45, Belle Vue 45. Joining us now, Belle Vue boss Jason Atwood, and Jason, after the week you've had, after the start you've had, you must be delighted to come away with 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, my sort of heart was in my mouth after heat 14, really. I think it sort of left a tall order for Matty and Kevin in heat 15, but both deserve sort of that inclusion in heat 15, so did us proud, really.
At 30-18 down halfway through, what was said, what were you trying to change around? Because a couple of riders really did seem to step things up.
I think to be honest with you, we'd had a good chat before the start of the meeting. You know, the result or performance really at Wolverhampton on Tuesday was, as I've said on TV, disgraceful. And I think the riders are experienced enough, the professional speedway riders, they know, you know, what I expect of them and also themselves, really. So even though we were down by 12, we kept sort of going. Spirit, the spirit was in the camp. We sort of believed, and I think that's one of the main things. If you've got belief, then you've always got a chance, really. Probably a little bit unlucky in Heat 12 as well, if memory serves me right. I mean, it was pulled back on several occasions and what have you. Probably don't agree with the referee's decision. I had a chat with Tony, but he's put me straight. So who knows really? We probably could have come away with 3 points, but after Tuesday's performance, it's a good bounce back, good attitude, and something to sort of certainly take with us to Belle Vue on Monday for the return meeting.
You took a lot of unfair stick about tactical rides on Tuesday at Wolverhampton. Are you left wishing that Mroshka, who's a bit up and down, if you put him on double in Heat 9, then of course he could be looking at 3 points tonight? Yeah,
with Archer, I mean, it's like a bag of rebels. You just don't know what you're going to get. But again, it's something that I looked at, and a few people sort of asked me, not naturally, just said, thought you might have done that. But the way Alice had sort of gone, sort of fell in his first ride, two sort of last, and then he pops out and wins his next two, which is, that's speedway for you, Yeah, I say at the minute happy with the 2 points. Yes, it could have been 3, but it's a good sort of performance in my eyes, and it's always a tough place to come here, and I'm really happy with it.
And Matty Zagar has been a class act round here for a number of years, but he hasn't really fired for you so far, not winning races, but he has tonight. Look, real class act.
Yeah, I mean, he was literally from sort of Heat 1. He was there, and I know this is one of his favourite tracks. He was telling me that on Tuesday on the way back up from Heathrow. So, I mean, normally Zorro goes pretty well round here. I mean, he won the GP qualifier. I think it was in 2009. So, but Zorro's carried us for the last sort of couple of meetings and whatever you scored. Probably felt his age tonight, but 4 points, it's all helped out. As I say, I've always say, win as a team, lose as a team, draw as a team. So, we've missed Craig Cook tonight. Who knows if we've had Cooker.
Just finally, you head back home on Monday. You'll be looking for a home win to put on the board in front of your own fans, and that will really get your league campaign kick-started. Yeah,
it will, but I mean, to be honest with you, it's going to be tough on Monday, because I think Scott Nichols is probably one of the best 3 riders I've seen around Belle Vue, and I put him on par with Jason Crump and Lee Adams. Christopher Kasperjak, obviously 2009 season with the Aces, so he knows his way around it. So a bit like when we had Wooford and Lindgren there the other week, both those 2 guys can come to Belle Vue and more than capable of going unbeaten.
Well, it's a great 2 points tonight, well done.
Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, Jason.
Thank you.
Scott Nichols must be mega disappointed.
Majorly. It's early days, so it's just hope that we're getting the rough ones out of the way first, and we're not still saying this at the end of the season. I don't really know. I mean, we had a good lead, and fair play to them, they pulled it back. Not through lack of effort, but I don't really know what it is. I had a dreadful night. Don't know if there's a problem with the bike or not. I felt like I rode my socks off, but certainly didn't feel the same as I did last week. The same bike, so I'll take the engine out, but I don't know. I mean, we had some flashes of brilliance, some fantastic races, and then it fell apart. So I'll still say early days, because it genuinely is. At least we didn't lose. We should have won. We should have got all the points, but a draw was better than a loss. But it's we just got to keep plugging away. Like I said, we've got a busy run, so now's the time for us all to get together. No better way to redeem yourself and bounce back than to go away at Belle Vue and win. So that's certainly what the plan will be.
We are capable of doing that, though, aren't we?
We certainly are. They just had a few surprise packages coming out and doing business when kind of you don't want it to happen, but. That's Speedway, that's the way it goes. We've seen early days in the season, but we've seen already there's been a few surprises. So who knows? We've got to go to Belle Vue with a positive attitude and go there looking to get the points.
And the problem tonight, I mean, no disrespect to you, but you and Christoph didn't win a race.
No,
it's unbelievable, really.
No, totally. It's nothing more frustrating than not winning a race. I mean, for me personally, it's kind of you expect to at least win a couple, but to not win any is dreadful. So I let things down on my part. Like I said, I gave 100% every race, but I didn't get the results. And the other boys were sort of there or thereabouts, but not enough. So like I said, I just hope that it is just sort of those early seasons settling in, Niggles, and we can like use this run we got on the road to get some confidence within the team and get some wins.
The worry must be Matty though, because he seems to be really struggling.
Yeah, he is, and like we've had a little bit. They've had probably even less track time than us, so it is tough, and these tracks are different compared to what he's used to back home. But we do everything we can to support him and get behind him. But from previous experience, it's horrible. We can't leave it too long before we, either make changes or do something, because before you know it, the season's run away from you.
Yeah, but you're still confident anyway, that's the main thing.
Yeah, we've still got to be upbeat. I mean, like, I'm sort of dragging my lip around at the moment because I had a bad night, but tomorrow's a new day, and you don't become a bad rider overnight, and everyone in the team is capable of winning races, we know that. So it's just getting your nose in front that makes a big difference. So we'll just have the weekend, regroup, and come out swinging in Belle Vue.
Thanks ever so much, Scott.
Nice.
Cheers.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the final score of Coventry 45, Belle Vue 45. Scores for Coventry: Christoph Kasperdak 4+1, Aaron Summers 8, Greg Zangotta 8, Mateusz Szczepaniak no score, Scott Nichols 7+1, Ludwig Lindgren 7+2, and Michael Szczepaniak 11+1. For Belle Vue, Matti Zagar 13+1, Magnus Ederstrom 4, Kevin Walbert 12+1, Artem Roschka 7+1, Alice Drimmel 7+1, and Kauko Nielmanen 2. I think the post-match reaction could be interesting from tonight, not only tonight but also in what happens in the next week or so. But Belle Vue take a couple of points from Brandon. Coventry are left with just one and with plenty of questions to answer. It finishes Coventry 45, Belle Vue 45, and that's all from us tonight on Clean Cut Sports. See you next time. Good night.